Hi, my name is Michael Hicks, and this week we are talking about the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis for Curtis Wright. A little bit about the company structure. There are 7 executives and 9 members on the board of directors. You'll also notice that Lynn Bamford is on the board of directors as well as being part of the executive management because she holds the position of chair on the board of directors. Ms. Bamford has been with Curtis Wright since 2004, and she's held many different management positions in the company prior to being named CEO in 2021. She also has a bachelor's and master's of science in electrical engineering, and she has 30 years of experience in defense and aerospace and commercial industries. As far as the board of directors, every person on that board either is an active or former CEO or COO, except for the admiral. His most recent station, he served as the Vice Chief of Naval Operations, and there were many other high-level positions that were noted prior to that throughout his Navy career. As for the analysis for Curtis Wright, one of their strengths is a diversified portfolio. Not only are they diversified in the units of production, whether it's aerospace defense, commercial aviation, power generation, it also says in their 10K that there is no single customer that accounted for more than 10% of their total net sales, which to me translates that you can lose a couple of customers and it's not going to drastically impact the profits of the company. Not only are they able to have a diversified portfolio, they also are able to work with their competitors, not just against them. For example, Boeing is a direct competitor of Curtis Wright. However, Curtis Wright is supplying turbofan parts and sections of the wing for the 787 Dreamliner that Boeing is building. With weaknesses, Curtis Wright does have an increase in the accounts receivable. That just means there's more money tied up in that account and less money for the company to use in everyday operations. Another weakness would be FAA regulation changes. The FAA can change these things at a drop of a hat, and that can leave little or no time for companies to adapt. And if you can't adapt, that means your product and or service is no longer viable, which is a loss of money, which translates to a loss of profit. Opportunities. As newer technologies emerge, Curtis Wright can tailor their products or services to work with the new markets, and that can give them a potential competitive edge in these new markets. Also, modernization and rejuvenation of nuclear power plants. Power plants have a serviceable life, and as time goes on and technology improves, we can actually increase the service life of these power plants. And Curtis Wright can provide parts and services that will extend the life of these reactors. With the threats that Curtis Wright faces, would be database intrusion as one of them, since they had to create a hybrid home and office system that houses not only their sensitive information, but also a bunch of intellectual properties. Opening that up to being used at home can have a significant impact on the security of the information. It could be somebody decides they want to steal it and leak sensitive information or trade secrets. So that would be one of their threats. Another one is the currency exchange rate. As I said in one of my earlier videos, the company has multiple different offices in multiple different countries, and whatever country that office is in, that's the currency they deal in. And in their 10K, I believe it was a little over $12 million was lost as a result of the currency exchange rate. So that is a very real threat. Also, the slowing of aircraft production. Since Curtis Wright produces parts and electronic equipment for aircraft, if the production of aircraft is slowed, that means there's going to be less of a demand for the products that Curtis Wright is providing, which would translate into a loss of profits. The financial metric that I chose is the debt to equity ratio. And in very short terms, debt to equity ratio is how much debt a company is using to finance its assets. And for round numbers, the total liabilities of the company is $2.46 billion. And then the total stockholder equity is $1.99 billion. So pretty close to $2 billion. And then you take those numbers, divide them, and you come out with a number of 1.23. Now, a good debt to equity ratio is anywhere between 2 to 2.5, and that number can change depending upon what industry you're looking at. But since Curtiss-Wright is sitting at a 1.23, that is definitely better than good. That's an exceptional number for a debt to equity ratio, which means their company is not drowning in debt, and most of their funding is through sales. These are the references I used to help me with this presentation. I thank you for your time. Thank you for watching.